Well, Shabbat Shalom. I just want to welcome everyone to the Sabbath Day conference call. And this is Barbara serving as your host today. And Brother Pete is here as your co-host.
Yes, and I'm glad to have you all join us.
Well, our title today is The Menorah Feast Days, Times, and Timepiece. And it's the gold standard of time. The menorah is the gold standard of time.
Exodus 25:31 states, "Then you shall make a lampstand of pure gold, and it shall be made of a hammered work. Its base and shaft, its cups, its buds, its blossoms shall be of one piece." The singular piece of hammered gold symbolizes unity and divinity perfection, and pointed to the creative power of Yahweh, his timekeeping system.
The menorah, the gold standard of time, reveals the original and authentic key to our Creator's original and only time-measuring model. Together with the sun, moon, and stars in the heavens, the menorah stands forth as a divinely appointed timekeeper, identifying the sacred feast day layout according to the count from the new moon and the unfolding of the plan of salvation. It has been discovered that the menorah is the gold standard of the Creator's prophetic and eternal timepiece. The evidence illustrates that the menorah is the unadulterated and Levitically uncontaminated candlestick time-measuring model for all the specific lunar-appointed feast days. The Eternal Father masterminded it for the purpose of sustaining his kadosh, sacred statutes, fixed prophetic appointments upon the earth amidst those who would seek to hide and obliterate its truth from those earnestly seeking.
Leviticus 32:2. "Speak to the Israelites and say to them, These are my appointed feasts, the feasts of Yahweh that you are to proclaim as sacred assemblies." The Hebrew term moedim denotes fixed, conventional appointments set by Yahweh on Israel's calendar. Scripture classifies 8 observances in Leviticus 23, 1 weekly, that is the Sabbath, and 7 annual convocations. They punctuate Israel's agricultural year, memorializing Yahweh's past acts, foreshadow Messiah's redemptive work, and anticipate eschatological fulfillment.
In the event that the Eternal Father's kadosh, or sacred calendar, record in Scripture was ever to be tampered with, this menorah was to beacon his changeless statutes from their divinely fixed lunar phase branches. It was to sustain for posterity our Creator's new moons, lunar Sabbaths, and feast days. If fraudulently changed according to the dictates of the Roman emperors and rabbinical Pharisees, as described in Daniel 7:25, Jeremiah 5:24, Titus 1:14, and Jeremiah 8:8-9. As we have it on good authority that the beast power would seek to change times and laws, Daniel 7:25. Might this include the new moon days, lunar Sabbaths, and lunar appointed feast days, as found in the Torah laws ordained for worship and honor to Yah, our Elohim? All those at the end of time who seek truth as for buried treasure and who walk in the light they have been given will be given more. The Reformation that began in earnest with Martin Luther continues forward, and that we are called to restore his purifying gold standard. Yahweh Elohim desires that his new moons, lunar Sabbaths, and feast days will be restored before his return and find their proper placements in the hearts and minds of his faithful followers.
In the Eternal Father's foreknowledge, might he have known that powerful emperors would introduce an entirely new kind of calendar system based upon the sun and divorced from the moon? It is conceivable that he also knew that the liberties would be taken by the Jewish leaders and the lying pen of the scribes, Titus 1:14 and Jeremiah 8:8, to corrupt the feast day layout in Scripture, to hide the fact that identifies a fact that the Messiah came on time the first time. Is it feasible that this same lunar appointed feast day layout identifies the time of his return?
Lunar phase markers. Here is Leviticus 24, 1-4.
And Yahweh spoke unto Moshe, saying, Command the children of Israel that they bring unto thee pure oil, olive beaten for the light, to cause the lamps to burn continually. Without the veil of the testimony, in the tabernacle of the congregation shall Aaron order it from the evening until the morning before Yahweh continually. It shall be a statute, olam, in your generations. He shall order the lamps upon the pure candlesticks before Yahweh continually.
Well, verse 1 of Leviticus 24 that Brother Pete just read identifies that Yahweh, the Eternal, is instructing Moses regarding the testimony of the moedim, the lunar appointed feast. It gives impact and gravity to the importance of the verses that follow it. While the following quote is not from Scripture, it is historical and in harmony with Scripture and the verse that follows it.
This is Ecclesiastes 43, 6-8. And then the moon, ever punctual to mark the times, an everlasting sign. It is the moon that signals the feast, a luminary that wanes after being full. The moon derives its name from hers. She waxes wonderfully in her phases, a banner of the hosts on high, shining in the veil of heaven. Referring to the Creator, Yahweh Elohim, Psalm 104:19 states, quote, He ordained the moon for seasons. That word is Hebrew 41:50, moedim, specific lunar appointed time. So what does this mean? It means that He, Yahweh, the Most High, ordained the moon to regulate all His sacred appointed times, that is, the moedim.
Okay, well, Satan's all-out attack on the Eternal Father was aimed at his entire time-measuring model of worship. For Satan's most pompous declaration was stated here in Isaiah 14:13-14.
For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend to the heavens, and I will exalt my throne above the stars of Elohim, and I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation, that's moed, specifically lunar appointed time, in the sides. Hebrew 34:11 relates to the moon of the north, the east and west positions, Yahweh's fixed feast day lunar phases. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds, and I will be like the Most High. To hurt the Eternal Father, Satan's aim is to always been to lead humanity away from their Creator and from honoring Him according to His eternal fixed laws of time and His sacred worship appointments or events.
As this explanation unfolds, we find ourselves in the pivotal landscape of a wilderness of Sinai, where Moses was commanded to erect the tabernacle according to the pattern shown him on the mount. And it began an era of over 1,500 years in which the temple tabernacle was the focal point of Israel's covenant with Yahweh. This earthly structure was to be the model in types and shadows of the entire revealed plan of salvation that was to be performed by the promised Messiah. Everything performed by our understanding was based upon two factors simultaneously. These are time and event. Each event was time-centric to a prearranged order in the heavens. One just weight and measure. Right about now, some of you are saying to yourself the often repeated modern Jewish lie that only the feast days are tied to the lunar calendar, but not the days, weeks, or Sabbaths, not the months and years. Further, it is evident that the modern Roman solar calendar reckons these on an altogether different calendar, and this is just the point. So you can see over to the right how the fall feast days on a Gregorian man-made calendar, but we all that have kept the feast know you look for the moon to know when the feast times begin, and that's on a calendar in the heavens.
Deuteronomy 25:14-16. You shall not have in your house differing measures, a large and a small. You shall have a perfect and just righteous weight, a perfect and just, that is righteous, measure, that your days may be lengthened in the land which Yahweh your Elohim is giving you. For all who do such things, all who behave unrighteously, are an abomination to Yahweh your Elohim.
Are you aware that Yah designated only one just weight and measure as his righteous standard for all weights and measures, including time measuring? Is it even possible for the Creator of harmony and perfection to legislate to his chosen people the use of two opposing calendar models, causing them calendar chaos and a need to create their own construct called the rules of postponement? The mere fact that modern Jews utilize a dual time measuring system is itself evidence that they have long ago departed from the Creator's ordained calendar. Today they remain outside the boundaries of every unit of time as ordained by the Creator. Whether measuring the weight of gold, silver, grain, the length of fabric, or the sacred parameters of the sanctuary, the tabernacle, including time, only one just weight and measure was to be the standard utilized for each kind of measure. The Menorah means the month's numbered lights, and those lights were given to us in Genesis 1:14 for assigned seasons, days, and years. There were never to be two opposing methods of measuring anything, including time. In addition, each just weight and measure was designed to be perfectly divided from largest to smallest, meaning that each smaller unit fits perfectly into the larger units because they are quantified, legitimized, and standardized according to the same measuring device. So it is that if any incongruities were to manifest, not meeting the Creator's standardized rules, it would be the surest sign of dishonesty, foul play, and tampering with sacred scripture, whether historical or in modern times. The gold standard of our Creator's eternal timepiece.
Leviticus 24:4. And he shall order the lamps upon the pure candlestick before Yahweh continually. Accordingly, the menorah is the unaltered and Levitically uncontaminated purifier, which he shall arrange in its order from first to last as the lamp before the presence of Yahweh perpetually. Exodus 39:37. A second witness in Exodus 39:37 supports this. Quote, the pure, ceremonial and morally pure candlestick with its lamps thereof, even the lamps to be set in order, and all the vessels thereof, and the oil for light.
In Leviticus 24, verse 4, we find that all the significance is given to the moed, prophetic, lunar, appointed, fixed time signal outside the veil, yet still within the tabernacle of the testimony. It explicitly describes the menorah. The menorah that is the unadulterated, purifying gold standard of lunar time. All the eternal feast days must be compared with this purifying gold standard. But how can this occur? The menorah is pure and perfect as an arranged symbol of the order of the feast days, from first to last. The unique candlestick of 7 lights stands perpetually before the presence of Yah. Because of this, the purpose of the feast days described in Leviticus 23 regarding the menorah stands as the unchangeable testimony before Yah. It resides in the tabernacle of the testimony outside the veil before the presence of Yahweh perpetually. The menorah symbol for Israel changed to the Star of David.
During the time period that the Hebrews, children of Israel, were obedient to Yah, their national symbol was a menorah. It was inscribed on their coins and all Hebrew items. This symbol was only replaced by the Star of David when they no longer honored the fixed time principles of the menorah standard. This change occurred by decrees between the crucifixion of Messiah in AD 31 and the time of Hillel II in AD 353. This was during the time of the intense pressure from Rome when the Jews were forced to give up their lunar Sabbath and menorah-oriented feast days. So Hillel II led the Jews to adopt the continuous weekly cycle of Rome. This new week cycle and its new Sabbath day layout for the new Sabbaths conflicted with the feast day count, and from the new moon caused the feast day to fall on the new seventh-day Sabbath intermittently.
Comparing the Levitical feast day layout to the menorah standard. And here you can see on the left, the first feast is Passover, and we would say that would be the first menorah candle, then the unleavened bread, and then the wave sheaf. Then we have the Feast of Weeks, the center candle. The last 3 on the right would be trumpets, Yom Teruah, and then Day of Atonement, and Sukkot, or Tabernacles. So you see the 7, and then 3 on the one, and the middle one, and the other 3 is exactly laid out like the menorah. The master key of time. As a nail in a sure place, the menorah serves as a GPS to distinguish new moon days from work days, as well as lunar Sabbath day Sabbaths, and to locate them with precision, along with all the lunar appointed feast days each year. As long as this time prescription was guarded and adhered to among the ancient Hebrews, no days ever overlapped, and they remained synchronized with the very throne room of Yah for all their worship assemblies. From Genesis to Revelation, no other time measuring model is ever mentioned. None of the Creator's sacred days can be accurately represented on a pagan solar calendar with its endlessly cycling weeks. The focus of the study has been upon the seven-branch menorah established by Yah, whose structures bears witness to the detailed plan of salvation. Thus, the seven-branch menorah is not merely an ancient sanctuary furnishing, but a prophetic witness whose meaning extends from the Torah pattern of the Old Testament to the final events revealed in Revelation, as in Revelation 1:20, Revelation 2:1, Revelation 11:4. And we find the candlesticks mentioned there, the menorah. In Revelation 1 and 2, Yeshua, the Olive Tav, walks in the midst of the seven golden lampstands. Revelation 11, the two witnesses are two lampstands before men. So the menorah, the lampstands, go all the way from the beginning of lights in Genesis all the way to Revelation.
Whether viewed through the lunar cycle or the menorah itself, the same testimony emerges. The Creator established a measurable and orderly framework of sacred time, one designed to reveal His appointed times and illuminate the unfolding plan of salvation. The feast day protocol is unequivocally the plan of salvation's mechanism for restoring mankind to the eternal Father. And the menorah establishes the gold standard for its fixed and consistent rhythm. It provides the when, so that you know when to celebrate, to honor, and to worship what your Creator and Messiah have done for you. This alone is how we, quote, follow the Lamb wherever He goes.
So Revelation 14:4 says, "These are they that follow the Lamb whithersoever He goes, and these were redeemed from among men, being the first fruits unto Elohim and to the Lamb." So that's the end of our study today. And to access more information about the menorah, about the feast days, about the calendar in the heavens that tell us when to keep days, weeks, and months, please go to our website, LunarSabbathDay.com. And so thank you very much for being here today.